Well, I just finished watching episode 5 of Dragon Ball GT, and I gotta say I was right. The arc, it didn't really last that much longer. This was the final episode. And there's not much to say, if I'm being honest. Everything went as expected. Basically what happens, Goku, Trunks, and Pan, they purposefully get captured in order to be taken to Don Kia, and then they beat up everyone because no one can even stand a chance against them. And Don Kia gets in Regic. Is it Regic? In the dub it might be Legic. I don't know. It's the tough guy that he had for hire, and him and Goku fight for a little bit, and he's slightly difficult. Goku goes Super Saiyan. He defeats Regic, and Regic's like, okay, I'm out of here. And Don Kia's like, all right, I'll do whatever you want. All the contracts to keep everyone stuck paying him are dissolved, and they go on their way. So here are some thoughts on the episode I have now that I'm done with the summary, is that I was interested because I was wondering, okay, so how much of a opponent is this guy gonna be? You know what I mean? Like, I've been saying it time and time again that if there's too much of a struggle with some of these characters, then I won't believe it. But for this Regic, is it Regic? I'm just gonna say Regic for his name, okay? That's who I'll just say Regic from now on. But I didn't really know how far they would take him. You know what I mean? Like, I was wondering, is he gonna actually be, like, how tough of an opponent is he gonna be? Because sometimes battles can go on for, like, a whole episode. But Goku, like, he defeats him really quickly from going Super Saiyan. So he's not really, like, too intense of an opponent. But more importantly is that this is the first time in GT that we see a Super Saiyan. They have been showing a surprising amount of restraint when it comes to showing Super Saiyans off, because, like, you watch Dragon Ball Super, Goku goes Super Saiyan, like, in the first, like, minute of the show, he's like, okay, I'm training, bam, Super Saiyan. But here, at episode 5, this is in GT, this is, like, the first time in GT that we get Super Saiyan. And it's like they've been and even then, it's like, it's a very short amount of time that we see it. So it's not like, you know, a ton of, like, they're showing restraint. And I think that's actually good, because, like, if the characters were to be going Super Saiyan, then that would imply they need it. And by having them not even go Super Saiyan most of the time, like, it like implies that, well, they don't need to go Super Saiyan. I mean, you know what I mean? And that's something that I've been, like, talking about a lot, is the power scaling. Even though I'm not, like, a pedantic power scaler, I do prefer things to be consistent to some degree. And so by having them not go Super Saiyan, it really helps keep in line that sort of view of these characters that we have in terms of their power. We also learn in the episode that literally, like, everyone in the entire vicinity is just people who accidentally landed here and their ships have been stolen. There isn't, like there might be a native population, but yeah, there. So it led me to wonder, are there gonna be, like, is the entire planet, is, like, this area of the planet just gonna be deserted because everyone has their ships back, or because I'm assuming a lot of the ships have been scrapped for parts. Like, are people gonna have to force themselves to, like, live here? It's like, these are things that aren't answered in the episode. This is just me speculating about the world, you know what I mean? But yeah, everything's wrapped up in a nice little tidy ending. There isn't really like much to say about this episode. I'm happy that this arc ended here. I wasn't super invested in it, you know. It was very much it didn't really serve much other than to give us that robot companion in the grand scheme of things. I'm assuming Regik might return at some point down the line, but I can't be certain for sure. If so, that would be another purpose that this served to act as an introduction for that character. But I'm happy that this arc is over. I didn't hate it or anything. I wasn't like, this arc, blah. But I was very much like, okay, let's move it along here, folks. And there is one thing I want to address that, like, I really feel like they need to play up a bit more the fact that they're on a time limit, because the Earth's going to be destroyed in a year, and I think like this Don Kia arc, like, you did not, like, from the way it's executed, like, you did not feel like it was a time pressure sort of thing, you know what I mean? Like I feel like this is the sort of thing where our characters should be like, oh god, we don't even have time for this, we need to get a move along, we need to like really like get these Dragon Balls, we don't have time for distractions like this. But instead it just feels like, well, we're stuck on this planet, you know, that's the problem, not we need to get a move along. I mean, obviously they do want to get a move on, but you know what I mean, where it's like, I really think they need to sell that aspect that they don't have time to mess around a bit more in order to help escalate the situation, if that makes sense, because they've set up that they do have this time limit thanks to the I'm rambling here, I'm sorry, so sometimes my words just get jumbled, but because the Black Star Dragon Balls, they have the time limit on Earth, and I feel like obviously they're only a week into it, so they have a whole year, but at the same time I really feel like what's the point in having this time limit if we don't really feel it in the narrative, if that makes sense? Because they're trying to have like fun adventures, but what they've set up does not lend itself to fun adventures. Like, I feel like I should have been more stressed, if that makes sense, because of the time limit, but I'm just not feeling it. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on episode 5 and the episodes so far. Obviously, I'm again, like, at the end of every episode of GT, I feel like I say the same thing, where I'm like, well, you know, I don't hate it, I don't love it, you know. Right now, I don't think that arc is going to be one I revisit, let's put it that way. But I wasn't hating it or anything. Like, it was fine, it was there, it was an episode, you know. So I wasn't like, I'm not feeling like the way people talk about GT, they're like, ugh, GT, blah. But I'm not feeling like that yet. Right now, I'm just sort of in the, it's definitely not as good as Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z camp, you know what I mean? But who knows? I'm only 5 episodes in, so it's not like I have a super breadth and depth of the episodes in the series or anything. So we'll see how things develop as they go along. Hopefully, you know, stuff picks up a little bit. Hopefully they like put a bit more time pressure on the characters and like sell that we're a bit stressed for time. Hopefully they have some fun adventures. Maybe they can find a balance between that. I don't know if they can, but maybe. I'm just thinking aloud here. And that's all I have to say for this episode. So thanks for listening, and yeah.